Ed, fire away.
Yes,
I want you to
President.
have
Actually,
over
following up on Andrew's question, because the United States is now negotiating with the Taliban over airport access and such, do you now trust them? And then a question on the public response. A new poll out today shows Americans wanted to withdraw from Afghanistan, but they disapprove of the way you've handled it. Poll also found that based in part on what's transpired in the last week, a majority of Americans, and forgive me, I'm just the messenger, no longer consider you to be competent, focused, or effective in the job.
I haven't seen that poll.
It's out there from CBS this morning. What would you say to those Americans who no longer believe that you're up to the job?
I had a basic decision to make. I either withdraw America from a 20-year war that, depending on whose analysis you accept, cost us $150 million a day for 20 years or $300 million a day for 20 years, who, and you know I carry this card with me every day, and who, in fact, where we lost 2,448 Americans dead and 20,722 wounded. Either increase the number of forces we keep there and keep that going, or I end the war. And I decided to end the war. As I said the other day, you know, the only reason we're in Afghanistan is this is the place from which bin Laden attacked the United States of America. Had this been in another Middle Eastern country where he could have easily have moved from, we would have never gone to Afghanistan. So the question is, when is the right time to leave? What are our national interests? Where do they lie? And the idea that we are in a situation where we can not recognize that terrorism has metastasized around the world, and the need for us to focus on other parts of the world which create an even greater danger of an al-Qaeda-like operation beginning can't be ignored. And we are, as you well know, because you follow this, we are a number of places where we're doing that without permanent basing American forces there. So I think when this is over, the American people will have a clear understanding of what I did, why we did it. And but look, that's the job. My job is to make judgments. My job is to make judgments no one else can or will make. I made them. I'm convinced I'm absolutely correct in not deciding to send more young women and men to war for a war that, in fact, is no longer warranted.
On the question of the Taliban, though, do you trust them now that you have to negotiate with them?
I don't trust anybody, including you. I love you, but you know, there's not a lot of people I trust. To look, the Taliban has Taliban has to make a fundamental decision. Is the Taliban going to attempt to be able to unite and provide for the well-being of the people of Afghanistan, which no one group has ever done since before, dealing for hundreds of years? And if it does, it's going to need everything from additional help in terms of economic assistance, trade, and a whole range of things. The Taliban has said, we'll see whether they mean it or not. They're seeking legitimacy. They're seeking legitimacy to determine whether or not they will be recognized by other countries. They have told other countries as well as us they don't want us to move our diplomatic presence completely. But so all of this is all just talk now. All just talk now. And so far, the Taliban has not taken action against U.S. forces. So far, they have, by and large, followed through on what they said in terms of allowing Americans to pass through and the like. And I'm sure they don't control all of their forces. It's a ragtag force. And so we'll see. We'll see whether or not what they say turns out to be true. But the bottom line is this, folks. Look, at the end of the day, if we didn't leave Afghanistan now, when do we leave? Another 10 years? Another 5 years? Another year? I'm not about to send your son or your daughter to fight in Afghanistan. I don't see where that is in our overwhelming interest. And the talk about how our interests are going to be impacted, let me tell you, you're sitting in Beijing or you're sitting in Moscow. Are you happy we left? They love nothing better for us to continue to be bogged down there, totally occupied with what's going on. So the idea, I think that history is going to record, this was the logical, rational, and right decision to make. So thank you all so very much.
Even Reuters is kind of reporting this, that the Biden administration, I can't believe I'm saying this, that the Biden administration really just doesn't care about what's going on right now in Afghanistan, that we're leaving our people behind. They just don't care. Reuters is even hinting at it if you read my show notes today. They're suggesting that the Biden administration thinks that this violence in Afghanistan and the chaos, even if we leave our own people behind, may actually be good for them because the public will get so frustrated with the daily scenes of violence, they'll want to wash their hands from it and say, let's just get out of there and leave it all, just leave everything behind as is. I can't, with a straight face, believe and report this to you without, talk about shock and awe. I think he is grossly miscalculating the resolve of the American people. We don't leave our people behind. I know Democrats like Biden and Obama, that's their thing, leave every man behind. But that's not our thing.
You just heard the Dan Bongino Show.